To change your filters, you turn off the main water, push the little red button on top of the filters to release the pressure. You can use a towel because sometimes a little bit of water comes out. When you're done with the towel, you can put it under the filters because when you unscrew them, some more water will come out. You do not need to turn off the power switch. This way the customers can still get water out on the aisle. You've got a carbon filter on the right side and a sediment filter on the left side. Take your filter wrench and loosen the filter housings and then remove them. Be careful because these filter housings are heavy. They have a lot of water in them. So when you take them off, don't let them drop down and hit your finger or something. Pull your carbon filter out and notice what the filter looks like, if it's real dirty or just partially dirty. Keep note of that because we're going to fill out a filter change form in a minute. Take off your other filter and do the same thing. Note the quality of the filter and how dirty it is. When you fill out your change form, you're going to circle which filter it looks most like. The light or medium or real dirty. Fill out the form and fax it back to us. This form does two things. It notifies us that you changed the filters and what quality they were on change out. That way we can monitor to see if we need to change them more often. And take your O-rings off and set them out of the way. Inspect them and make sure they look good. Sometimes the O-rings can swell while the filters are being used. You want to have a separate set of O-rings available in case they won't go back on the filter housings properly. Then you take your filter housings and dump the water out in a floor sink. Do not use the hand sink or the sanitizing sinks. Down the bottom of your filter housing, you might notice the little rubber washer off the end of the carbon filter could still be down in there. Check and make sure that it has come out or take it out manually. You always want to put gloves on after you take the old filters out before you put the new filters in. Unwrap your filters. Take the rubber washer off the end of the filter and put it down in the bottom of the housing. There's a spot down there, you'll see where it goes. That way we know it's in the right place. Then when you put your filter in, make sure you put in the end that does not have the washer on it. The new washer will be on the top as you see here. Then you want to replace your O-ring and put your filter back on the machine. When you put the filter on, it should thread on quite easily, clear until it bottoms out on the O-ring. You shouldn't be able to see any threads on the filter housing when it bottoms out. If you see threads, you need to take it out, back it out and redo it. Sometimes it'll cross thread a little bit. Tighten it snug with your filter wrench. Then you unwrap your other filter, the sediment filter. You'll notice sometimes the paper comes with the filters. Make sure it doesn't stick to the filter and get dropped into the filter housing. Put this filter in as well. Put your O-ring back on and replace the filter housing on the machine. Again, make sure it threads all the way down really easily. It should spin really easily until the threads bottom out. You shouldn't be able to see any threads when it snugs in. And then tighten a little bit more with your filter wrench. If you tighten it too tight, it'll be hard to get off next time. Open your flush valve on the back, that's the yellow valve. Then you can open your water. The machine should kick on after a few seconds. After it runs for a few seconds, you can close the flush valve in the back. Sometimes you need to open and close the flush valve 2 or 3 times to get the pressure of the membrane up in the range it's supposed to be in. Check for leaks. Make sure that everything is running properly. All your gauges are good. Wipe down the whole machine. Make sure all the drips or drops are off of it. Wipe the dust down so the machine looks nice. The supervisors and the people from corporate will be seeing these machines as well as the health department, so you want to make sure they stay looking really nice. The last thing you want to do is wipe the floor down. Make sure you don't leave any water on the floor that somebody could slip in and fall. Call the 800 number if you have any questions.